Good morning and afternoon, Power Hitters, Solar Warrior Tribe. My name is Jarrett McAllister, your mentor and co-host. Today is Tuesday, August 30th, 2022. I'm alongside my main man out in hotter than Mars. I mean, what? 108 all week in Vegas. Jonathan Brunasso. What's up, player?
How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. August is almost done. We're in September already. And yeah, Jarrett, like look at Las Vegas temperatures here. I mean, 106, 108, but even from my hometown of Claremont, we're like 100s the whole entire week as well. So this is the time to be posting on social media, reminding everybody about their air conditioner, their electric bill. I mean, it's hot everywhere. We have extreme heat warnings everywhere. What about in Idaho? Is it hot there?
It's even going to hit like 98 degrees here tomorrow, which is unheard of for this time of the year up in the north.
Right. Super hot everywhere. Great time to execute and go sell some solar. Jarrett, you had a success story last night, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my mentees, new recruits. We had 3 appointments, went 3 for 3, knocked them out the park, which was awesome. Loved batting 1,000 on a day, which is great, and helping out new people to the industry. So no, it was awesome. And I'm actually working with this new kid that's doing online leads. So they're cold. And I know the closing percentages aren't supposed to be that great with those ones, but you know, all-star stud right here, closer. No, it was cool. They're great, having tons of fun. But yeah, so just wanted to share that.
Awesome.
Helping out the mentees.
Good work, good work. Let's go ahead and hear from one of our team leaders who's on the golf course, Scott Crum.
Scott.
Hey, it's been a great day. Look at this man right here. That guy's a stud right there. So on Sunday, we both signed somebody up in the business. They both did their intake on Sunday. Yesterday, Tito closed the first deal for his. So sign on Sunday, get their work done on Sunday, get signed up, get done, and then close the deal the following day. By the way, they have 5 more in progress. That guy's the man right there. We're out golfing. We're celebrating with the dog, having some fun, living the life that we were meant to live. Love you guys.
Awesome job, Scott. Building the team there. And where are you at? Fresno, Bakersfield?
Yeah, we're playing golf today in Madera, but we're in Fresno. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome job, Scott. Thank you so much.
Hey, John, on the phone with my buddy. His wife's a social media expert. They put one commercial, like one quick what'd you guys use?
TikTok.
Got 3 replies on the first one. Last night after we closed his first deal, 24 hours later, he's got 10 people. 2 of them have already sent him all 12 months of his electric bill.
Basically what he's saying is he's on fire. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Looking good, bro. Great job, man.
Thanks for the translation there. All right, Carlos Martinez, what you got, sir?
Hi guys, how's it going? Actually, since the last Tuesday, I had 2 that I closed on. One in South Carolina. It was a lead, worked on them, got him denied. Actually, Mosaic denied him, but I just told him, don't worry about it. Let me go ahead and do some work for you. Got him approved through Good Leap and got him all signed up. Yesterday, wasn't expecting him because I'd been working on this guy for about 3 months, and called me out of the blue. Finally decided to pull the trigger, sent him the docs. He signed it right away, and we had a good week. I was a little bit disappointed though, because I was expecting to have 3 done last week by Sunday, and didn't work out. So I'll just work on getting those done this week. And just a quick reminder, guys. I mean, I've been real frustrated since I had my spinal stroke 1.5 years ago, and just getting back into power, you know, around April, May of this year. Having to rethink how I do things, because I'm stuck in a bed or wheelchair, you know, pretty much for the rest of my life. But power gives me the opportunity to still do what I enjoy doing, which is helping homeowners. I just love what I do.
Beautiful.
but it was getting real frustrating because I didn't have that ability to be face to face with anybody any longer. Don't get frustrated. One of the biggest things, I went back and just kind of was looking at what I was doing and what I wasn't doing. And part of it is I just wasn't asking for the sale the way I always did in the past. Consistency. It's all about consistency. And so if anybody's struggling, keep your head up, keep grinding. If I can do this as a quadriplegic when I had a normal life a year and a half ago, anybody can do it, guys. You know, I've been doing solar for over 9 years, but constantly learning. So don't give up, guys. If you're struggling, stay strong. Just reassess what you're doing and refocus.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Amen,
Carlos.
Carlos. Thank you for that.
I'm
You're welcome.
I'm motivated by you, sir.
Yes.
Keep up the work, man.
Thank you. That is quite the power story right there. Thank you, Carlos. Let's go ahead and move to Bill, and then we got 3 more after that. Go for it, Bill.
Yeah, Jonathan, thank you. My hat's off to you, Jonathan, because you were the initial inspiration to get me to find a
BNI
connection. Yeah, it wasn't in my grand metropolis of Stockton because they were all full, but I found one close by in a little town called Ripon. I think I've closed 10 deals out of that so far in my relationship with BNI. But and the irony is that I'm probably almost complete a 2 years member. And lo and behold, one of the gals that's been there from the very beginning finally said, hey, maybe you could do my house. I go over and in probably less than a half an hour showed her a proposal, got her signed and done. And actually, because she's close by, was going to go do her VSS, and it's the first VSS they didn't accept. So I might have taken some bad pictures or something. So they just did the site survey. She's on her way. But just, my point is that don't give up wherever you are. But in BNI, it took this long, and I've said it 6 ways to Sunday, every which way you could talk about solar and benefits and how it all works and everything. So it took that long for her to finally get through and say, oh, maybe it would work for me. So good.
Awesome, Bill. Great story. BNI networking, team networking. That's what it's all about. Closing additional deals. Awesome to hear your success stories there. And Anthony Bonilla, top team leader, mentor, always has successes. How's it going?
Hey, Jonathan, good morning. So I actually have 2. I finally was able to close 2 deals yesterday. So 2 deals in a day, trying to catch up with Jarrett. But the first one was actually for a new mentee on my team, Anthony Silva. My biggest project so far, 52 panels, 20.8 kilowatt system in Rancho Cucamonga. And then yesterday at night, I closed my first BNI client, right? So I was in BNI 2 years ago. I started, and then last year I quit because I wasn't getting results. But I guess BNI worked. So a year later, the tax guy on that BNI chapter I was in reached out to me saying, I'm interested in solar. I shared a proposal with him and his wife yesterday here in Corona. And now I'm helping them get a solar system. So that's, I guess I could say BNI works, even if it takes 2 years.
Boom. There you go. Nice job, Anthony. Always good follow-up, always great success stories. So great to hear that BNI works. Don't give up on BNI. All right. Nick, what you got, sir?
Yeah, so I was in Hawaii taking care of my father last week, but I managed to mentor a deal for Jason Lee. We closed a 10K system in Porter Ranch, and he got a referral out of that, so we're going to close that one tonight. That one's going to be at about 12K. And I closed a BNI deal for 28K system. We should have that paperwork today. So good week.
Awesome. I'm hearing a trend, everyone. I'm hearing referrals, ambassadors, and I'm hearing BNI networking. That is what's working this week when it's hot. JC, how you doing, my man? Thanks for visiting today.
What up, brother? Yeah, man, wanted to visit the stars. All these champions make me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But success exists outside of the comfort zone. So excited. By the way, JB, I'm gonna be in my wife and I'll be in Vegas next weekend. So I'll hit you up. We've got some exciting things going on next weekend in Vegas.
Great.
But yeah, last week I closed something like 4 deals or something like that. One of them was a PPA yesterday, PPA that we closed yesterday, and recruited about 6 people to the team, personal recruits. And the team hit 1,000 people, and we're averaging between 40 and 60 sales per week on our team. Super excited about that. The goal is 1,000 sales per month by middle of next year. So very excited about these numbers.
Woo, that's gonna happen, JC. With our momentum, your team, the leaders that are growing there, the events that we're having, it's all gonna happen with the Inc. 43 announcement, with this heat, with the tax credit extension. Fucking ready. Let's go. All right, Jordan, I think you're the last one. And if you have any other success stories, ladies and gentlemen, please type them into the chat. Jordan, Expansion King, crushing the contest. What's up?
Hey man, so yeah, just it's been a pretty good week with everything. So as you already know, got a big deal coming. This Friday's my last day in the IT realm. Many of you didn't know I was still carrying an IT gig on the side, so I'm excited about that. 11 months into Powur, able to put in that 2-week notice. Been amazing, but
Awesome.
the momentum doesn't stop. Just this morning, I had somebody ping me that I've been talking to about. He's been an ambassador and he's a real estate pro, and he was like, we talked a few months ago about him joining the platform. All of a sudden this morning, he goes, "Hey, my cousin wants solar. Do I still get the commission split?" I'm like, "Upgrade your account, man." Just this morning, just upgrades his account. Got 2 more people telling me they want to go solar today. Just got to keep the momentum going, man. So it's a good time. I love it.
Awesome,
Thank you.
Jordan. Jordan, you're crushing it. You better hold on that number 2 spot, my man.
I don't know. There's some claims out there. I just saw the dashboard get updated. I think I just got bumped just with a bunch of dozens of deals from some other people here, man. I'm gonna try.
All right. Well, go sell some more deals today. Great job, Jordan. All right, let's do a quick quote from Tom Cotter and the Solar Warrior Tribe, and then we'll have some announcements. Tom Cotter, what you got?
Thanks, Jonathan. Many of you follow Gary Vaynerchuk. So with all of our resources that have come out about the Inc. 43 announcement for social media for us, I thought this would be appropriate. So Gary said, "When I hear the debate about the ROI of social media, it makes me remember why so many businesses fail. Most businesses are not playing the marathon, they're playing the sprint. They're not worried about lifetime value and retention. They're worried about short-term goals." So if you have posted about Powur, your business, on social media and didn't get 10 sales from it, that's not the purpose of how it works, right? You need to be creating content on a regular basis to talk about your journey, your business in solar. And if you want, people message me all the time and ask, how do you generate leads? What's the best way to generate leads? Well, one free and simple way is to post about your customers, other people's customers, information you learn on social media. Follow leaders. A lot of us are on this Zoom right now. Follow leaders that are posting about solar to get ideas. That's a lot more valuable than knowing what the latest updates, the latest shows on Netflix are. So if you know all the latest shows on Netflix, but you don't have leads and you're not posting on social media, invest in your business and invest in yourself.
Wise words, Tom. Definitely, if you're up on Netflix, you want to sell deals, you got to change those priorities for sure. And I think they say, someone needs to see something 8 times before they register that with you. So stay consistent. We want you to share and steal our content for sure. All right. Thank you, Jarrett. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you, gentlemen. So let's do some quick updates before our training today, which I'm pretty excited about. So we have a sales leaderboard here. Shout out to all the personal sales leaders. So we got Jordan Shaw on here. We got so many other leaders in this team on here as well. Joel, we support in Florida, and many other people. We have mentor sales. Cynthia is crushing it. Ubaldo on this team. Shout out to you, Tom Cotter. Luis Perez, David Perez, JC Rangel, no surprise there. They are builders and mentors closing down deals. And referrals or recruits, shout out to my twin brother, Larry McKinney, JC and Jennifer, myself. We got a lot of leaders there on the referrals and the recruits as well. So this team is crushing it. You guys are all doing great. That contest that we mentioned, giving away the Fisker Ocean, it goes until September 15th. There's 50 prizes. You can see them here. And please read your Monday newsletter from support@powur.com. It goes over all of these details, and we're going to do another impact journey for the top 20 winners. It's a little bit fuzzy, but again, shout out to Jordan Ubaldo. I believe Israel is under Luis Perez. Joel Wally, shout out to my twin brother Chris. All of the leaders here, Paul Leon, David Perez, Marisa is crushing it. Awesome to see her name up there. Josh Easter is an amazing Arizona closer. JC, of course, and all the other people in the top 50. Just a reminder, if you are in the top 20, top 50, we are taking some people. We moved the date to September 8th. We're going to be doing Top Golf with Solar Edge on September 8th to some of the top leaders and contests ranks. So we'll see you guys there. And then future trainings. Today we have Mr. Adam Robertson. I'll introduce. My dates are a little mixed up, so apologies. Today we have Enphase and LinkedIn training in Powur Calendar. So if you want to learn about Enphase or LinkedIn, check out Powur Calendar. Next Monday is Labor Day. JC, I'm not sure if you're still here. I'm wondering if you're going to do a Monday training next week. I'm assuming with the holiday, maybe not.
No, not on Monday.
Okay, perfect. So holiday on Monday. Enjoy this Labor Day weekend ahead. Stay cool. Sell some solar. And next Tuesday, we'll have a team training. We have Clearwater Health Insurance. And I know we have many people that have used health insurance through Clearwater already. It's saving people a lot of money, giving you an awesome health insurance, but it's also good for recruiting and for attracting others and for selling the benefits of this platform. So it's going to be a great training next Tuesday. And then a future event, Virtual Powur Day. This was described again in the Monday newsletter. Much more on powurcalendar.com. Quick reminder, we are experiencing hyper crazy, insane growth. We just hired 3 project managers in California alone. So take a screenshot of this, take a picture, follow these steps. If you have any needs that are post-sale, you really want to live in the ticketing system. Average ticket response time is like 4 to 8 business hours. So you really want to live in the ticket system. You could use the chat if you have to. You could call if you have to. You should work with your leadership. If you need the phone number to a project manager, operations manager. Brenton is on vacation. He's the California ops manager. And Scott Klepetar, who will be coming in full force here soon, is taking just his place for now until Brenton comes back September 6th. So we get that it's rough. We just hired tons of designers. I just got a design back in 3 business days, so it's getting better. It was taking 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So always set proper expectations, always communicate, always give updates. Solar's taking a few months. I don't care where you are. So thank you for your patience as we experience this hyper explosive growth, because we have unlimited growth on the sales side, right? You all are kicking major butt, but how does operations keep up unlimited? So they're trying to do their best. So thank you for always being patient and constructive and positive. All right. Now today's training, I've said this once or twice before. I am pretty excited about this. There are a few nuggets that I picked up a few weeks back on one of his team Zooms, because he leads his own team out here in Nevada. And I'm already implementing 2 to 3 things that he says when he connects with customers. So I want you to pay attention, take some notes for this leader in Solar Pro Adam. And here's a little introduction for you guys just to tee him up here, and I'll let him share his screen. So quite often, the difference between success and failure in business can be pinpointed to the compounded impact of your conversations. Words matter, and understanding how you can use language to control a conversation is certain to provide you a fair advantage in a challenging marketplace. Adam's thought-provoking session will have you enthralled from the very start as you discover the power that language has over the subconscious brain. You're going to gain practical examples that you can apply instantly, like I did, and learn how magic words from the exactly what to say are applied to your daily life, whether it's business or personal relationships. Some of this training today can be applied to you. So if you are open-minded, let's go ahead and bring up Adam, and you should be able to share your screen now, Adam. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you guys all for having me. It is a pleasure to be here. Hopefully I shouldn't have to share my screen. I should just have to share my camera. Hopefully you guys could all see something next to my lovely face, which looks something like a PowerPoint. I hate having to do the screen shares because I like looking at everybody, and I like everybody at least being able to see me and not just hearing this random voice. So I'm super excited to be able to help everybody on the calls, because solar was one of those things that I found years ago and fell in love with it. I was a business consultant for years, focusing mostly on the automotive industry, helped a solar company and said, this is exactly what I want to do with my life. I don't have to lie to people every day. I actually truly get to help people. I go home, I eat well, my family eats well, my customers are taken care of, and everything's in a better situation. And so exactly as Jonathan was saying, I am actually one of the founding coaches for the main book that we base everything off of, which is Exactly What to Say. It's a book that's been around for over 10 years now. It's a New York bestseller, sold over 1.5 million copies, and we're currently working on a new version for the solar space in itself. So we're going to have an exact branded copy that we can all use to help each other with. And so I do like to be very interactive when I train. I don't want to just sit here and talk and have everybody listen. I do want to have some participation. So just from the start, I'm very curious to kind of see where everybody is at emotionally. Kind of give me one word adjective of kind of where you currently sit, what you hope to gain, and let's see what that is.
Pumped up.
Pumped up, love it. Yep, you can turn your mics on, you can talk in the chat, whatever you feel is easiest. I love to hear everybody.
Motivated.
Motivated.
In flow.
Love it.
Great.
Fired up.
Love it. Love it. See a lot of excited and confident. Eager.
Eager.
Confident. Confident. Love it. Motivated, excited. Fantastic. So everybody's ready to go. And that's really what I want to do. So I will tell you, this is going to be very fast paced. Stop me at any time. Anybody has questions in the moment, please ask me in the moment. I love it because we can all learn from that moment together. This is going to be a very quick overview. Usually I'll do a few of these. I'm actually doing more than I normally would on a call this length. However, I know we have people that are just starting out to people that have been doing this for many years. So I want to make sure everybody benefits from the call. That's my number one goal. And so we're going to be talking about everything from introducing new ideas all the way through closing to even staying in the game, that they're not able to make decisions, but you just want to be able to get some more of that information from them. And so that's where we want to go into. So going from the very beginning, there's 4 main cornerstones of conversation. Really importantly is one, curiosity is going to be the fuel for all great conversations. You never go into a conversation just stating facts. Some of the best conversations we have, somebody's feeling down, something's going on. What do? You ask, hey, how you doing? Is everything all right? You enter that with curiosity into their life and wondering what you can do to better make their life or make their life a little bit better. 2 is that the old adage of, whoever asks the questions is the one that's in charge of the or in lead of the conversation. And that is still very true. Number 3 is the worst time to think about what you're going to say is the moment you're going to be saying it. And this is extremely important when we look at marketing and sales and all of that. This is an area where we have templates for emails and text messages and videos, but yet the words that are coming out of our mouth, most people are just kind of winging it. And so let's see what we can actually do to figure out what we can do to kind of shift that conversation into being more in our favor at all times. And last but not least is people are going to do things for their own reasons, not yours. And so this is where a lot of people go off the rails and create objections in their process, because you walk into these conversations with such certainty that you are going to help them and you know exactly how to help them without fully understanding what their reasons are, that you can create a lot of indecision in them and you create a lot of their questions. And so with that, I want to talk about this trust triangle is what I like to call it. Whenever you enter a conversation, I don't care if it's business, personal, friends, family, I don't care what it is. If you are feeling something weird or you want to understand where somebody's coming from, literally follow this formula and it will shape your conversations in ways that you will never know. So really quickly, like I said, curiosity is the fuel for all great conversations. So what happens when we start there? If I start asking questions and really understanding what they are without interjecting my own thoughts or what I want them to see, I'm just straight asking so I can get a clear picture. My question to you right now is, if I'm asking somebody questions and I can see it clearly in my head about what they want, how clearly do you think that they can see that situation in their head? No, for most, it's going to be crystal clear. If somebody can be able to tell you exactly what they're saying, they are seeing that so crystal clear, like this is 8K HD. And by doing that, you now understand exactly what their situation is. Now you understand exactly how to present, whether this is presenting the opportunity of, hey, you should look at solar and selling solar, or this is looking at it as, hey, you should do this. It's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to put you in a better situation on the selling side. What ends up happening is once I fully understand what they're feeling, now we can move into empathy. And very simple, there's a great author, his name's John Ashcroft. His definition of empathy is one of the best ones I've ever heard. And that is, it's simply caring about what the people you care about care about. And again, like that's really deep. It's simply caring about what the people you care about care about. If you do that and you actually are caring and asking questions and being involved in their life, what does that end up leading to? Well, you're relatable. Now you're like me. People like to do business with friends, people that are like them. Your current friend circle is most likely people that are similar to you. They complement certain things about you because you like to be around them. And so now I get to kind of enter on this side to side, like, hey, we're friends, instead of me always coming at them and fighting the conversation. I want to do this together. We're going to move along this. Because now once I can wrap my arm around them and say, hey, come this way with me, it's so much easier for them to develop courage to make a change. Because now it's, hey, because you said this and we can do this to help you, this is what I recommend. It's no different than if you go to the doctor. You don't go into the doctor and say, hey, my stomach hurts. And he goes, oh, you got cancer, and he never runs a test. They run a lot of tests. They're asking questions. And it's because of A, B, and C, I recommend X, Y, and Z. In business, we're taught this all the time, but yet nobody really breaks down how to do it. And so that's where I want to go on, because there's a really simple formula. If you focus on how to get results quickly and effectively and consistently, it's very simple. It's the fact that questions create conversations. Conversations create relationships. Relationships create opportunities, and opportunities create action. Notice this is not feature benefit creates action. It's not oh, well, we're going to make you so much money, or, oh, you're going to save so much money, so you need to do this. It's asking the questions to have those conversations, to really dig into what they're having problems with, or what they want to change or improve, that then create, okay, now there's some empathy, there's relatability, so it builds into a relationship with each other. And then that relationship is going to say, hey, at some point, they're going to say, hey, well, what do you do? What, how can you help? They're going to create to those opportunities. I usually never offer people to tell them what I do. I wait until they have nothing left to ask. And there's always this default of like, well, hey, what do you do for a living? Or, hey, what do you do? Or what can you do for us? Just keep asking and let them kind of dictate that part of the conversation, because now they're ready. They've got nothing else on their mind. They've pretty much cleared through everything they want to have questions about at the time. And now they're open to be presented to. And with that, now they're able to actually make an action. So the number one reason people don't bring up a situation or like have a new idea and they don't bring it up is fear of rejection. We all have it. It's a really hard one for people to get over. So what if we had some rejection-free ways to whether, one, we're talking about doing this on the doors, if you're knocking doors or cold calling people, or you're just talking to a friend about, the power of solar and like what it is to actually join with Powur. And it's like, hey, this is a great opportunity for you. But I want to be able to bring it in and actually have them hear me, and also have them be able to say no without it feeling like it's a hard no to me. So people don't take that personally, because in sales, you get told no a lot. And if you take that roller coaster ride for too long, it starts to really deflate you and it creates a lot of issues for yourself. So the number one way that I do this with people is it's a simple phrase of, hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but. Few things that happen is, one, everything that we're going to talk about today is from this point on, is going to be talking about how do we communicate with the subconscious mind? How do I get to a point of getting out of the maybes and getting to a yes or no answer? The subconscious is either yes or no. It's either breathe or don't breathe. It's blink or don't blink. There's no, well, am I going to? And if I can get and speak to that part of your mind, it's going to create much quicker decision making. It's either one going to get me to yes quicker or get me to no quicker. Either one is fine. Tell me no, let me get on and move on to my life. I'll throw you into my follow-up, and I just have that drip on you forever until you're ready again. But a few things happen in our subconscious mind. If I look at you and say, hey, I'm not sure if this is for you, I'm curious what somebody's going to say, and anybody can pipe in. What does that say to you? If I sit there and told you, hey, I'm not sure this is for you, what does that little voice in your head say?
Yes, it is.
I immediately want to challenge that. Why?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. It's that little bit of a, you don't know me. You don't know what I want. I'll be the judge of that. Like, I'm going to be there. And so what does that do? That instantly sparks your attention a little bit. And now, again, we're just kind of wiping the brain away, cleaning it off. So you're going to listen to what I'm going to say now. And so, hey, I'm knocking on the doors. Hey, I'm not sure if this is for you, but I'm not sure if you've seen all the panels going up around. Just out of curiosity, what stopped you from going? And now it's like, hey, they're going to start to do that.
Objections have always seemed to me to be fears that the consumer has, that by solving that fear, you really can move on with making a deal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And most people hear objections and they instantly fight back and go, well, this is how we do it. And this is what we do it all the time. It's like, oh, we acknowledge it and then we solve it. What if we acknowledged it and asked them questions and made them solve it and acknowledge it? There's so much more power in them being able to make up their own mind than feeling like I made up their mind for them. Because when I do that, what ends up happening is that's where the cancels come from. They feel pushed into it. And what I'm able to do is I'm able to churn this and say, hey, like somebody said earlier in the chats, questions are the answers. Churn that around and ask you to explain that for me so I don't have to. The thing with, I'm not sure if it's for you, but it's followed with that 3-letter word we're told never to say. Don't ever say the word but, because it negates everything before it. People only hear what comes after it. Perfect. Because now, like I said, I've sparked your curiosity. Boom, the brain is wiped clean. But what I'm doing is this. And they will hear that. And they're actually going to hear it at a much higher level than what they ever would have if you just go, hey, how's it going? This is what I'm doing. But now they're wondering if they should be interested. Now, I don't need everybody to answer out loud, but you do have that raise a hand button on your computer right there. What I'm curious of is who in this chat right now feels that they are open-minded. Raise your hand if you feel like you're open-minded. Do you see the number of hands go up? Statistics show that if I was to ask a room of 1,000 people, 900 plus people would raise their hand and say that they're open-minded. So now I bring the question to you. If you're asking somebody for an appointment or somebody to look at, again, the opportunity, it's, hey, would you like to sit down and talk to me about solar? Or, hey, would you like to talk to me about joining into the solar industry? Or, hey, would you be open-minded to sitting down and talking to me? You're more likely, you changing that 50-50 yes, no answer into a 90-10 because of the fact that nobody wants to be closed-minded. That alternative is so negative. It's literally, it's the closed-minded, you're a jerk, you know, you're just rigid. Nobody wants to be that person. And so that's why we want to say, hey, would you be open-minded to talking about this? Would you be open-minded to trying this, doing this, whatever that's going to be? Because I want them to be able to actually see that. And it works great with kids, FYI. Hey, would you be open-minded to this? They don't feel like they're being told what to do all the time, which is a huge one as well. So as we continue on here just a little, let's talk about some perspective changers. Hey, I got to change somebody. They've been using electricity or they're happy with their current job. Now, how do I change their perspective a little bit to get them to realize there might be a better way? And with that, how we do that is I'm trying to find some magic words that empower you to shift their vantage point and add more curiosity. Because my question to you guys is if I'm holding up this book and say, what do you see? It's really simple. What you see is the black back of a book. That's your perspective. Well, if I learn to get side by side with you, you actually see that I'm actually holding my cell phone. And when I say, hey, I see my cell phone, this is what you end up seeing is realize, well, we're both looking at different perspectives here. How do I get us to both see? And we got to come in that and say, hey, I got to see your side. And when we can figure out what that is, now I understand how to help them change their mind. So question is real simple. How would you feel if? That's a pretty big one. And the fact that what it allows you to do is it allows you to get them to feel and experience in the future. So how would you feel if your energy rate raised 30% this year? FYI, where I will live outside of Vegas, that's what they're doing. 30% increase in 1 year. That is going to be brutal for people because it's a rural area where people don't have that much money. How would you feel not being able to take care of the family the way that you currently have because all of that extra money is going to be going to your power bill? Do you feel like that's what they can do? You have to feel what is happening in their life. They're going to actually feel a little microdose of that. They're not going to get all sad and cry and all this stuff, but when you start to bring in this, I say as little as possible because I want them to fill it in. I want them to see their picture, not mine. So I'm just saying the facts of, hey, how would you feel if this is there and you're going to have less money for your family? And then ask, what changes do you think you would make? Find out what they're saying. What would that affect them for? Don't tell them that, oh, your bill's going to go up and you're going to have less money. Yeah, that's the obvious. But how do I get them to feel that? If you start thinking about that is, how would you feel if we could take care of all of that for you? Well, that'd feel great. Cool. Depending on if somebody's negatively or positively motivated, figure out these questions to ask the different types of people the same question in a different form, because now you're going to start moving through all of their problems where they'll actually hear you. Next one is going to be just imagine. I love this one because with it, as a kid, think about mom and dad putting you to sleep. They pull out a story, they pull out that fairy tale, and how does it begin? What is that generic fairy tale beginning?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, that's the one. And what did that phrase do? It allowed yourself, when your parents would say that, it just let your brain open up. It pulls up that Instagram account in your head of all of those visions and memories and things, and it really opens up that imagination. As
Makes
much
you
as
feel good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now what if I had the adult version of that I could use that in a daily basis? And really simple, that is just imagine.
Remember when?
Hey, yep. Love it. Remember when? Just imagine if I'm going to pull them into the future with me. So I just said, how would you feel? Or how would it feel if the energy rates went up 30% and all of that money is now being used to pay your energy bill instead of helping your family? Just imagine all of the changes that are going to have to take place. Do you see the power in that? That once I attach their feelings to that and they're like, ugh. And now all I said is just imagine the changes. I didn't tell them the changes. I don't know their changes. What does that mean?
You've painted them a picture.
Yep. I gave them the brush to paint their own picture.
Yes.
And I let them, and then guess what? Now ask questions about it. Well, what does that look like? What's some of the things you're not going to be able to do? And now are you just pushing on that pain point, that bruise a little bit harder every single time? That is what you can really use to start creating what others, quote unquote, would say is rapport. It's a huge, huge example of how you can get people to understand you by just asking questions. It's amazing you can just ask questions to people and get them to realize things about themselves. And at the end of the conversation, they're going to be like, wow, that guy was great at conversation. He was a great conversationalist. And you're like, no, I really didn't say anything. You really don't know anything about me, but I know everything I possibly can about you because I was curious to know, because I actually truly want to know, because I wanted to help you. This industry is an amazing place because we have a product that truly helps people. You don't need to lie. There's too many companies out there right now that lie and steal and cheat to get into people's homes. It's not needed. 95% of the homes I walk into, I can flat out help somebody from day one. Why do I need to lie about that? I don't need to have that in my life. I don't ever need to experience any of that. But if I can find ways to talk to them to make them feel the pain of where they are, then let's talk. Last one in this section is another one. Welcome back to your childhood. And this one goes back to a phrase that your parents have said to you a million times. If you don't eat all your dinner, then you're not going to get any dessert. If you don't study hard for school, then you're not going to get into college or get that job that you want. If you don't tidy your room, then you're going to be grounded for the weekend. It's that if then consequence, or that it's this cause and effect relationship. It's a speech pattern we've had since we were born. And it started, that was the way to get our kids to do something, or it was a way to get you to do something as a child. So if you decide to give this a try, then I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Just attaching into that pattern that we're already in all of our life. If you're willing to try, then you aren't going to be disappointed. If you give me a chance to help you, then I'm confident that you're going to thank me later. You know, if you're willing to try power, if you're willing to try solar sales, if you're trying, you know, or if you're willing to actually take this step away from the utility company and save money, then I know you're going to thank me later. And they're like, yeah, that's a hard conversation to veer away from and say, no, I'm not going to get any effect. I'm not going to get anything from that because there's just nothing there. And so when it comes to, again, all of those perspective changes, it's how do I get side by side with them? It's asking those questions. How would you feel? I want you to emotionally be attached to it because people make feelings emotionally first. Then they'll make it logically. If you're in their house and you're doing a one-touch close, you are emotionally selling them. And then at the end, now you're throwing some logic on it. So now when they backtrack and they go, okay, this is why I did this. This is why this was a good decision. the facts are then there for the logical side to take over. And with that, that's how you get their perspectives to start to change. And they still trust you because of the fact that you were curious, you're relatable, you help them take action. That cycle just goes over and over. And so with that whole cycle that we focus on at the beginning, what happens if they raise up an objection? Boom, guess what? I go right back to curiosity. Tell me more about that. Can I relate to that? Can I help you take an action? They throw up another one. Bam. It's just this endless cycle all the way through. And so now let's talk about some assumptive frames. I've got them to start listening to me a little bit more. They're agreeing with what I want them to do. And so now my questions of how can I actually move this along without so many decisions and get them to focus their attention on the effort that I need to move forward. Really simple one. Hey, when would be a good time? When would be a good time for us to sit down and meet at your house? When would be a good time to talk about solar or with your family? I don't know. When's a good time to talk about, our upcoming vacation? What does that imply? Really simple. It implies there is a good time. It's not, will you sit down with me? Well, I don't know. Will I? Maybe. But if I say, when is a good time? That means at some point there is a good time. And you follow that up with two options. Hey, when it would be a good time? I can either do tonight this evening at 6 o'clock or tomorrow morning at 10. What that does, if you give them that follow-up or that sentence, what ends up happening is really one of two things. One, they're going to pick one of those times. They're going to say this one or that one works. Option two, those times legitimately don't work for them. But what do you think that they're going to offer? They're going to offer you a time that does work for them. And then you find a way to make that time work for you. I don't care if you've already got an appointment, you've got something, find a way. This person's involved, they're interested, and they're saying, I will listen to you at this time. You do everything you possibly can to talk to that person at that time. When would be a good time? Really just prompts people and their subconscious to assume, like I said, that there is a good time and that no is really just not an option. I'm just going to say, yes, there's a good time. It's right now. And not meeting is not an option. You're in a bad spot. And I want to help you with that. My favorite thing to use for follow-up. I am huge on follow-up. There is a lot of money to be made in it. A lot of people don't do nearly enough. And so what I do is as soon as I book an appointment, actually I have an automated system that I use that sends out a video that I recorded that kind of goes over some of the base things of like, hey, real simple, this is how solar works. This is a real easy 30-second definition of what net metering is, and this is how you can benefit. And oh yeah, by the way, there's nothing out of pocket up front. We're going to make sure that it doesn't cost you a dime out of pocket up front. I'm just going to switch everything over. But what ends up happening is if I call somebody to confirm that later on, usually 24 hours before the appointment, and I say, hey, have you checked out that video that I sent you? Again, I've got two options, yes or no. Welcome to buyer's remorse. People make decisions based on two emotions at their root cause. It is pride and embarrassment. Either they're going to say, yeah, I totally did. I watched it. It was great. Or yeah, I got everything. Or they go, no, I totally didn't. And now what happens is I threw a wrench in that gear and it's just going to be like, ugh. And now I'm having to backpedal to pull them back forward. Different way of approaching that. Hey, I'm just confirming your appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to checking out that video that I sent. I know life can be busy. What does it do is I soften the blow of that embarrassment. I just say like, hey, people are busy. I understand you don't get around to it. And then two things are going to happen. One, if they did, now they're even more excited that they did. They're like, yeah, no, I actually did it. I did what you asked me to do. And guess what? That person's severely involved. And now you better stay on top of them because they're really interested in what you're going to tell them. Or option two, they don't. They're like, oh man, yeah, I totally did it still. I got really busy. And then what do you do to follow that up? Well, cool. What I'll do is I'll follow up tomorrow about an hour or two before the appointment and just make sure you check it because I really want to make sure that you have all of that information. And guess what? Guess what they're now going to watch? because they don't want to feel what they feel right now. I want them to go, okay, yes, it was okay for you to not watch it, but now, hey, make sure you do it. Give me your word that you're going to do it, because what happens when I call up on that hour or 2 hours before the appointment, hey, I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to it again. And guess what? 95% of the times they have, because they don't ever want to feel that, and they want to make you proud. They want to be there, and they want to be on the same level as you. You were there for them. Now they want to be at the same level as you. So there's never this imbalance. It is the best way to follow up. Send them something and simply say, I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to. I do this on referrals, which I'll talk to you guys about at the very end. Another great one is you've got 3 options. 3 options is a really great way to help people move along in the decision-making process by giving them the illusion of choice. It's, hey, I'm giving you 3 options, but they're not. But people hate to feel pressure of making choice. So if it's either yes or no, that is a really hard decision, because that's like so final in people's head. Can I get you to say yes a little bit easier? And the way that I do this is I give them option 1 is a really hard option. This is like the ugly choice with really questionable outcomes. Option 2 is I'm going to do nothing and stay exactly at the status quo. And option 3 is going to be the right choice. And it's how you then word that to then use that. So in the case of going solar, and say, is great. You know, what I've noticed is most people at this point have 3 options. First, you can stay with your electric company. The rates have gone up 12% nationwide over the last year. Some are going up as high as 30%. That's going to continue to rise. You're going to have to continue paying that, and you're never going to see a dime of that back. Other option is you think about it. You're still stuck with the first option, but you maybe collect a few more proposals, and then you talk to so many people that you just never make a decision, and you're just kind of stuck in the status quo. Option 3, we move forward with this. We show you how much money you can save right now from the beginning. I'm going to help you do this and do that, whatever those benefits are from that conversation you have. And then you end it with one easy question. Which of those 3 options is easiest for you? That is the magic to that phrase. Give them 3 options, give them the really ugly one, the option of doing absolutely nothing and showing them basically like you're absolutely stupid if you stay here in either one of these first 2 options, because the right option is number 3 with me right here, right now. And which one of those is the easiest? Because I'm here to help you right now. And you'll watch people just go, oh yeah, that's absolutely easy to do. Let's go do that now. So second to last, is labeling, is going into, now I just want them to feel some comfort in me. This is really going into the empathy side of everything. And how do I get them to move along? Really simple. We've all heard it. People are like lemmings. They follow the herd. So there's going to come a time that you either want to ask somebody to join sales or to join it or to switch into go solar for their home. And I want them to tell them, hey, I want you to do this. But if I do that, that's really rude and really conceited, because people, again, are going to do things for their reasons, not mine. What I want you to do really doesn't matter. It's did I give you enough reasons for yourself to make this decision? But a really easy way to make people, like to be able to lead people without them feeling like they're being led, and also finding comfort that people have done this before this, is in saying, hey, now what we're just going to do is, I think what we should do is just get the paperwork done. No, hey, what most people do at this point is we do the qualification, or what most people do is, hey, they go check out this link, because they're like, yeah, I can totally do that. And what happens is you're giving that illusion of free choice. You're giving them that idea of like, hey, I can do this. Like, yeah, I totally made that choice. I did this. This is for me, my reasons. I made that choice. I don't have to make it for them. I'm not doing it because he wants me to. I'm doing this because, hey, most people have done it. They've succeeded. They've been okay from it. They're in better spots. People wouldn't do it if they didn't benefit from it. So yeah, why wouldn't I do that? That seems pretty simple. I use these two in conjunction with each other is, hey, what happens next is this. Again, I've got my arm around them. This whole thing is getting my arm around them and being side to side with them. So they trust me to walk with me and not against me. I don't want to fight, because if I start to get in these back to forth battles of how a lot of people teach rejection training, they give it, you acknowledge it, and you give it the reasons, you give the future benefits of why. Well, we get into this argument that I'm so certain. Here's the crazy little thing about when you enter a conversation with certainty. If you're so certain and so confident, you've had that person in your life that do that, it's like, this is the best idea, you have to do this. You know, how many of you walked into your sales appointments like that, or walked into a friend like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing, I made $8 grand this month, this is awesome, you have to do this. Their mind goes, well, what's the catch? You create indecision, you create the objections in their head by just coming at it too forcefully instead of figuring out what they want and how to make that a better situation for themselves. And so now that I've gotten myself with them again, hey, what happens next is we move this way in the process, we move here, or, you know, what happens next is most people do this. Because I'm going to teach them, like, hey, this is what's going to happen next. And this is what most people have done. So it's okay if you do it too. Just come along with me. I'm your buddy. Last but not least, staying in the game. You have that person that's like, nope, I don't see this. You realize the appointment's a bust. It's an I think about it. FYI is if they say I want to think about it, or they don't make a decision, or there's something that you did not portray well enough to them to make them see that what they're doing currently is a worse spot than where they could have been. That is the only time in this industry when I leave an appointment that I feel mad, that I feel like, and I'm just mad at myself that they're like, man, I just couldn't get it. Oh, this investment is too much, or it's too much up front. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, what did that say? I did not show them that there really is no quote unquote cost out of their pocket up front. I messed up. I get upset when I leave and they don't buy because I messed up. And if you write a journal of like, this is what happened and this is the outcome and this is what I did, that is huge. Something I preach to all of my reps is we all have, you know, Apple Watches or iPhones or your phone. We all have voice recording. Record everything. It's game time film. Go back to it, listen to it. What can I change? What can I do better? How could I have had this conversation steer a completely different way with one or two questions? It's kind of the butterfly effect. One change gives you completely different outcomes after a few minutes. And so I want to stay in the game. Yeah, I just really want to think about it. Okay, totally understand, because again, if I just keep confronting objection after objection, it creates confusion. Help me understand, you know, what you're really looking for. Help me understand what you like better, or help me understand why you feel it's better to stay with the utility company. And now what happens? Again, I'm not fighting the objection. I'm letting them fight the objection for me. And so now they come back and give me all of the reasons why they feel. And guess what it does? It then tells me a way for me to know where I messed up. This is one of those things that you just have to just rip your chest open and say, hey, I'm open. I'm available for you to be present and understand what I did wrong. Let me find a way to help you. And it also says, hey, I'm missing data and I can be persuaded. It gives them that little bit of a control feeling like, well, hey, help me understand why this is better. Because maybe I'll be like, hey, you're absolutely right. Cool. You sold me. Awesome. Good job. Have a great day. But it gives them that option and doesn't feel like I'm attacking them. Well, why? Well, why? You know, what makes you say that all this time? It just, hey, help me understand, because, you know, it kind of puts me like, oh, I'm the stupid one here. Help me be better. And another one you will get all the time in sales is, if I can, will you? Real simple. Hey, if I can do it for the same price, will you move forward with me? Let's say that is, they're like, yeah, absolutely. But I'm $5,000 more expensive, or, you know, whatever that's going to be. Do I have to give that discount to them and sell it at that price? No, I do not want you to. I don't want you to ever have to do that. What I want you to say, and this is a really simple process to go through, And I'm sorry, I'm going to actually read it just to make sure that you guys get it all the way through. Let's say I'm asking to deliver against a competitor, say Tesla, for example. Everybody knows they price things way cheaper than we do, but if you look at reviews and quality and products and all of this, there's a massive difference of what most companies are offering to what they're offering for that discounted price. So, well, hey, if I could do it for the same price, would you go with me? And they'll probably be like, well, yeah, absolutely. So what you're saying is that if everything were equal, you would rather do business with us. And if something positive is come of that, to which they reply like, yeah, absolutely. They just realize internally as such that things aren't ever going to be equal. You then ask, well, with that said, what is it about me that if the price were the same, you would sooner choose to work with me? And then shut up and listen. They are going to tell you why you are the better choice. And then after they do that and they say, well, it's because you do this, or you have this better warranty, or you have this training, you have all of this, you simply follow up and say, and all that extra is not worth just an additional couple bucks, or is not worth $85 a month. And like, it puts this moment in their head of like, you gotta be stupid not to do that. Like that, yeah, that's huge. And I don't have to go, well, an inverter costs this much, and if they fail after 10 years, then it's going to be this much. No, I can get into that later, but that's not really where I want to get into. And so if we talk about making our conversations count, how much information should you give somebody to make a decision? How about just enough? Don't always explain everything. This is why people in most sales organizations do the best in their first 6 months than they ever do again in that entire company, because they start learning too many things and they start over explaining and over complicating, and everything becomes off. And they're this, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this, and I'm certain of why you should do this. To where the first person, when you first came in, you're like, I know nothing. I needed a mentor. They helped me. Hey, you should just do this because it totally makes sense. What if somebody asked you, hey, so how does solar work for us? Or how does solar work? Most people, I feel, go into explaining net metering. What if I just made that really simple and be like, works great. Like, hey, how is this gonna help us? It's gonna do great. It's gonna help lower your bill. Awesome. Some people, that's enough. And then guess what? If they offer another question, like I'm giving them this tic-tac size comment to say, yep, that's enough for you right now. And then if they ask another question, guess what? They want some more details. And guess what? If I give them that and they ask another question, now they want the breakdown. Okay, now let's talk about that. But I don't need to start with the breakdown. Start with, works great. Try that. Or, hey, are you going to have success with, how hard is it to have success starting out in an area? It's easy. It's great. We have all the training. Awesome. Cool. Now let them ask the questions about training. And then you can start to figure out where they are, but don't overcomplicate it. And my last one, I promise this is it today, is asking somebody to do a favor. If you ask someone to do a favor, as long as the request is reasonable, the chances of them saying yeah are pretty simple. And I want to use this as a way to get referrals. Right now, that's the topic that we're going to use this. Success in life and business is rarely achieved without the support of others. That's why we always push business. We always put this, it's everything that we do is getting in this community. Welcome to Powur. That's what everybody's focused on inside the organization, is like being a community, coming together. And so could I help you do a favor, or could you do me a favor? Absolutely. What do you need? I'm here for you. And I am. You guys ever need me? You can find me. I'm there. Look me up on the mentors list. I'm always there. But let's talk about it in forms of referrals. I've noticed there's 3 types of people when it comes to referrals. 1, they don't ask because they simply don't care and they don't want to be bothered. Number 2 is they don't know when to ask. Number 3 is they don't know how to ask. So let's talk about that real quick. When's a good time to ask for a referral? Give me a few reasons where you think a referral is a decent time to ask for one where it doesn't feel clunky for you. Well, I'll give you this hint. There's a word or a set of words that somebody's going to say to you when it's time for you to say something. Could be after the sale, in the moment, I love it, at the install, love it, all great things. But what if I told you that there's 2 words that they're going to say to you, and instead of you taking that as a compliment for yourself, thank you, Chad. It's after they say thank you. It's as easy as that.
I love it.
Once they say thank you, what does saying thank you mean? It means you offered something to them, and now that scale of balance is off even. They're slightly indebted to you. You offered them something, and you helped them out. So whether that was thanks for the information, thanks for coming, thanks for helping us with this, whatever it is, thank you is not a sign that you're a great salesperson. It's when the antenna needs to go up and say, haha, I have a moment here. Let's take it. And I want you to jump on it. And I'm glad this is being recorded, because if you don't write this down now, I want you to write down exactly what I'm going to say to get referrals. It is word for word. You memorize this and you do this, it will change your referrals overnight. Because if I just say, hey, where can you do me a favor? Can you give me a list of everybody you want to talk to? No, it's going to be awkward. They feel like, should I give this information out? Are they going to want to talk? Then you call the person and they're like, why did they give you my information? Who is this? Why do I want to talk to you? The whole thing is a mess. I would rather get 1 or 2 really hot referrals than a list of 10 all day long of cold ones. I'll cold call anybody all day long. I've already got their information. I don't need the referral for that. But what I'm going to say is, as soon as I hear thank you, you respond with, hey, you couldn't do me a quick favor. And they're going to be like, yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, you wouldn't happen to know. What this starts to phrase into is, again, it's a challenge. You wouldn't happen to know, throws down this challenge to them that's like, which makes people want to prove you wrong. Just one person. So, hey, you wouldn't happen to know just one person. Again, now I'm not asking you to search through the Rolodex in your mind of everybody you know. I'm asking for one. Give me one person. Someone who, just like you, narrowed down, could save money from, could really use this extra income every month, could really use an extra $100 a month by not having to pay the electric company, whatever that is. Throw in the feature that, or the benefit that they were talking about for the last 30 minutes or hour, however long you're talking to them. Who would also benefit from a new career, going solar, whatever that is. So who would you know, or would you happen to know just one person, someone who just like you, because again, they're going to pick out their friends that are like them, which are also ready to go, well, so-and-so did it, I'll probably do it because it's keeping up with the Joneses, who would also benefit because of this. Then there's a really simple thing. Shut up. Don't say a word. You're going to actually, I want you to stop and actually now look at their body language. Wait for something to change. Either they're going to cross their arms, uncross their arms. They're going to look away. They're going to be like, you're going to see something happen in their body that goes, they've got somebody. They've thought of it. And it doesn't take long. And you go, you couldn't do me a further favor, could you? I already said yes once. Why not do it again? Next time you see so-and-so, or before that, what I'll actually do is, hey, I don't need their information. I don't need any of their details right now. So don't worry about that. Just curious, what's the first name of the person that you were thinking? And let's say it's Steve. Awesome. Steve. Cool. So, hey, couldn't do me a quick, another quick favor, could you? Next time you talk to Steve, could you share with him a little bit of how it was doing business with me, and seeing if perhaps he's open-minded about taking a phone call from me to see if I can help him in the same way I helped you. Yeah, cool. And then guess what? Well, when's a good time that you're going to talk to him? Do you see how these all start to loop together? They all form all the conversations to lead conversations where you want them to go to get to these critical conversations. It's, when is a good time that you're going to talk to him? Well, I'm going to talk to him later this week. Great. So you wouldn't mind if I followed up with you on Friday evening at 6 o'clock to just see how that conversation went? No, that's cool. That's great. And then how do I respond on Friday? What do I start that conversation with? Somebody that was listening today hopefully should know. Anybody got an idea?
this might not be something for you.
That's good.
You probably
And
didn't
I like-
have time. You probably didn't have time to talk to your friend, but
There we go. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to talking to Steve. And they're gonna be like, yeah, he's totally interested. He wants to talk to you. Here's his number. Or, no, man, I totally got busy. We got scheduled. Awesome. When are you gonna talk to him next? And again, I'm just pushing that one person because now I've got this one hot lead. Now I do some other stuff on top of that as well with incentives and all of that for myself on the referral side, which I'm happy to share with people on private time, but I do know I'm going long. But I do want to thank every single one of you for all of the help that I have been able to get from everybody in Powur as well. I've enjoyed bringing my entire company over and bringing it all here because it's been a huge benefit. The one last thing that I would not mind if you guys do have a quick favor. If you don't mind, I'm going to include a link into the chat that at your earliest convenience, if you could go fill out, just has name, number, what you liked best about what we talked about today and something that maybe you would have liked to dive deeper into, because this is a very quick overview. If we went full in depth into this, what this would end up churning into would be a 5-day, 8 hours a day type thing. And so I want to make sure that we have everything going on there. And so,
How else can people follow you, Adam? Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook?
Yes, Instagram is easy. It's Adam Robertson, EWTS, which is exactly what to say. Is how it stands for. You can find me on Facebook, Adam Robertson. I'm there, or you can check out our website. It's exactlywhattosay.com. You'll see my glorious photo there as well. There's so many different places that if you guys are interested, please find me. If anybody took screenshots of the video today, tag exactly what to say. Let us know what you thought. We love having everybody around. If you haven't already, like I said, go on Amazon, go buy the book. It's a great book. Exactly What to Say is it's there. We have a new copy that's out. If you actually want my real recommendation for you guys right now, until the solar one is going to be coming out soon, as we're working on it, is that the real estate version, there's Exactly What to Say for real estate markets, is the best translation right now for the solar industry, because it has to do with some home stuff and improvements and equity and all of that, some phrasing that's already in there that's really easy to switch around for solar. And so I thank you guys all. Anybody that's here, I don't have anything going on right now. I'm more than willing to answer any questions or go a little bit deeper. I am all open for anything that anybody might have right now.
Adam, huge thank you on behalf of this whole team. If you all want to type in one word of thanks or inspiration or motivation to the chat, I mean, I absolutely love this entire training. So please check out that jot form, share your feedback with this, check out the Exactly What to Say, follow Adam. He's an amazing mentor in Nevada. So any Nevada deals, if you need help, obviously he's amazing. And I'm typing into the chat some of those notes that I took today as well, guys. And I've been implementing those the last few weeks since I first heard them. So I look forward to getting this recording on YouTube, Adam. A huge shout out to you. Really appreciate you taking the time for this team. I'm going to end the recording here and we'll hang out for 1 or 2 more minutes.